But the reality is that, especially when it comes to our online business, it's not about working hard. Of course, there are certain times where you have to work hard to gain leverage and to do certain things, but you need to work smart. And if you're at that stage in your journey where you are working hard, but you're not progressing, that's because you're not good enough. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about 2 reasons why you're not having the success that you're looking to have. Now, these are 2 reasons and 2 realizations that I actually personally had in the case of like my journey and my process. And these aren't just 2 reasons that I've plucked out of thin air. These are things that I have gone through myself, and 2 key realizations that ultimately helped me to take my business to 40k per month, from where I was around about 5 to 10k. I tripled it, quadrupled it in the matter of like a few months. Now, before I get into that, first thing I want to say is if you're new here, I help coaches and consultants to scale their business on Instagram to 6 figures with organic marketing. Okay, now if you're interested in learning more about that and how I can help you, then feel free to check out myself on Instagram, or feel free to book in a call and we can see how we can help you in my program. But getting back to the video. First realization. Now, I realized back earlier this year in 2021, I realized that let's give a bit of context to this. I was selling a coaching program alongside other services. So I was helping and doing social media management, and I was doing content creation for clients and for actual businesses that would find me organically and then reach out to me. And I enjoyed it. It was a good, kind of few months. I got paid fairly decently for it. Each client would bring me anywhere from say 1,000 to 2,000 per month, but ultimately I hit a limit and I couldn't get past it, and I was at around about just below 10k per month coming to the end of 2020. And what started to happen in the early stage of 2021 was my business actually started to decline. Right. At this time, I had quite a few offers. I had sort of one-to-one coaching, I had content creation, I had social media management, I was doing graphic design, I was doing a little bit of websites for people, I'd done a little bit of branding before. I also had a group coaching offer. And what I began to realize, and what kind of sort of made me then make a big change, is that and this is the first realization, is that I didn't have something that people really wanted, or I wasn't solving a problem big enough to justify people paying me more, or to justify people to come to me more frequently. I'd grown very quickly and to a great extent on Instagram, and that was a great thing, and I could easily use that as leverage. And I think that I wasn't using that enough, and I realized that it was actually my experience, it's my transformation and my story, the outcome I personally had experienced. That is what was good about myself. That is what I should be selling. And I wasn't selling that. I was selling a separate service. I was selling a separate outcome to the one that I myself had been through and experienced. So kind of summarize that, the first thing I've realized is that I wasn't solving a big enough problem, or I wasn't solving something that people could really relate back to me properly. And because of that, my business was stuck. It was stuck at just below 10k per month, which is a good amount, but it wasn't what I wanted to achieve. Now, the second realization I then had was that once I'd realized that I had to make a change, I couldn't make the change. I couldn't do it. And it wasn't because there were things stopping me. The only thing that was stopping me was I didn't know how to do this thing. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to transition the business model. I didn't know how to position myself properly. I didn't know how to sell a certain service or a certain product. I didn't know how to build my offer from scratch. I didn't know any of these things. And the realization I had, realization number 2, is that I wasn't good enough, right? And this is, it's quite a harsh reality, but if you're not having a success you want, it really does come down to these 2 things. Either like number 1, you don't have something that people want, right? Or you don't solve a big enough problem. Or number 2, you're just not good enough, right? And that seems like really harsh and really direct, but it's the truth, right? And it's kind of something I want to really kind of push on this channel, which is that we can't fall into this idea of victim mentality. You can't paint yourself as a victim of the algorithm, or a victim of circumstance, or a victim of anything else. So we're in total control of everything we do. Every failure, every success, we're in total control. And it's up to you and it's up to me to take control and to take the actions necessary to achieve what it is we want to achieve. So if you want to get to, for example, 10,000 followers and you're not there yet, you're not good enough to have 10,000 followers, right? And I'm just using that as just an example. I'm not saying you need to aspire to have 10,000 followers. I'm not saying that 10,000 followers validates you in any way. That's not what I'm saying. But if you have that goal, whatever it might be, and let's just use an income goal. You want to get to 10,000 per month and you're only earning 5,000 per month. It comes back to those two things. You don't have something people want, or you're simply not good enough to be able to do it yet. And you need to be comfortable with understanding that. And the sooner you can understand those two things, the sooner you can take a step, the sooner you can change things and then get on the path to having something that people want, to becoming good enough to earn that amount. Because at the end of the day, you can only get as much value from the marketplace as you put into it, right? If you put in this much value to the marketplace, I'm trying to think of a number. If you only put this much value into the marketplace, you can't get this much out, right? But if you put this much value into the marketplace, you can take out as much as you want from that amount, right? And that's what people don't seem to understand. People, for some reason, feel entitled. People, for some reason, feel as though because they are posting content, because they are showing up, because they are working hard, they feel entitled to 10,000 followers. They feel entitled to 10,000 per month. And that's just not how it works. There are so many people, and I done this post a while ago on Instagram, and there was a quote that said, if hard work made you rich, then every construction worker would be a billionaire, right? And I have the utmost respect for anyone who does a job that's in labour, because I know how difficult it is. I have family members who have been through that and who are in those jobs, and I understand that completely. But the reality is that, especially when it comes to like online business, it's not about working hard. Of course, there are certain times where you have to work hard to gain leverage and to do certain things, but you need to work smart. And if you're at that stage in your journey where you are working hard, but you're not progressing, that's because you're not good enough, right? It's because, again, at first point, you don't have something people want. So if you are at a stage where you've been doing something consistently, and I kind of have like a 2 to 3 month limit, I might even reduce that. If I'm in the same place as I was 2 to 3 months ago, I know it's myself. I have to make a change, because your business, your growth, whatever it might be, it should always be increasing. It doesn't have to increase massively, but it should always be increasing. So if you're not, and you stay stagnant, then it means you need to make a change, right? And if I use myself as an example, I went from about 5 to 10 to 30,000 per month in 1 month, because I invested in myself, because I got a mentor, because I learned the skills I needed. I became better at what I do and how I can help people. And I created something that solves a big problem and that people wanted. And then I stayed consistent for about 3 months because I was finding my feet, putting in the systems and so on, and just making it consistent. But then after that, I stayed at 30k per month. So what did I do next? I invested again into myself. I got another mentor. I upgraded to the next level of mentorship. I invested more time into myself and becoming better. And I stacked my skills and my knowledge on top of each other to become a better version of myself. What happened? The very next month, I went to 40k per month. And I'm now in the process of putting new systems in place to be able to scale again to the next step. But it's only possible because I've taken that jump to become better, right? And if you personally are not becoming better at your lifestyle, if you're not becoming better with your discipline, with your habits, with your skills, with your mindset, with your character, if you're, with everything, if you're not progressing and becoming better, then nothing else is going to become better around you. You can't stay the same and expect everything else to get better. It's not how it works, right? Likewise, if you invest a small amount into yourself, you can only expect a small change. If you invest a big amount, both time, energy, money perhaps, then you can expect a transformation, right? So if you're someone who's looking for a transformation, you have to invest bigger into yourself, and it might be more time. But for the most part, I would always recommend, now that I've done it, I would always recommend invest in a mentor, invest with someone who is in the position that you want to be in. And whatever that price is, as long as you trust them, as long as there might be a guarantee in place, as long as there's like a little kind of as little risk as possible. There's always going to be risk, right? There's always risk with investing in yourself. But as long as that other person selling to you can reduce the risk as much as possible and help guide you through that process, pay them as much as they ask for, because that mentorship, that course, that program, whatever it might be, that is going to be the number one reason you get to the next level. If you don't want to invest money into a mentorship, that's absolutely fine. But then you're going to be investing time, and it's going to take you a much longer time to become better on your own. It took me about 3 years to just understand Instagram and get good at it, right? And after that 3 years, I started my current page, which then blew up 100,000 followers in 9 months. Most people, perhaps you watching, only have seen me from starting that page. And you think that, oh, Harry, started a page in March 2020 and it blew up overnight, whatever. And you think that you could perhaps do the same. And, maybe you could, but the idea is that it didn't take me 1 year to go from 0 to 100,000 followers. In fact, it took me 4 years of trial and error, learning myself how to do it. And in my business, it took me 3 to 4 years to go from 0 to 10,000 per month on my own. It took me 1 month to go from 10,000 to 30,000 per month because I invested in myself, right? So just to summarize on these 2 points, the 2 reasons you're not having success, the 2 reasons you're not earning the money you want to earn, or the 2 reasons you're not growing as much as you want to grow, is that number 1, you don't have something that people want, or you don't solve a problem that's big enough. And number 2, you are simply not good enough. Okay, but you have to get comfortable with those points. And as soon as you become comfortable with that, you can have all the success you want because you take control. You're in control of your destiny, so to speak, and then you can progress, you can become better, ultimately have the impact you want to have on the world, and the value you put into the marketplace, you will then be able to take out that value in whatever way you want to. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. I'm going to put up a video here for you to watch, something related. Maybe I'll put something up to do with mindset. So here's some mindset tips when it comes to growing your business and your page on Instagram. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, drop a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.